Yeah, Coach, I was wondering if you could maybe kind of walk us through the last few days after finding out about the Tulsa game getting canceled and then before announcing Southern last night.
We'd need a whole, we'd need 4 episodes. But, what we tried to do is, we found out, we went into the players' locker room, addressed the players post game, went into the coaches' locker room, addressed that. And then when I got out of the media Zoom with you guys, Coach Ruda informed me that he had a voicemail that the Tulsa game was not going to be played on Tuesday. And then at that point, all the coaches, staff members just, tried to reach out to people, and there's some relationships with Southern. And we talked to Southern along with 2 or 3 other programs. And then, there was this, social media swirl, about the in-state as well. And so we reached out to everybody that we could. And then we circled back with Southern, because obviously their game against number 1 ranked Gonzaga was not going to happen, and they had an open date, and they would be able to fit the testing in for the COVID protocol, and then also be able to get here without having to fly. So I think all those things put together, this made the most sense for them and for us as well.
Scotty.
Yeah, Coach, you talked a little bit about Moses's willingness to learn and to listen for a while, after one of the games last week. I'm wondering if he's one of the more coachable kids that you've had as a college coach.
Yeah, he's really, really coachable, Scotty, for sure. I think that, he was really well coached in high school. But even today, when I came in today, he was in shooting alone on the shooting gun. So he's done a great job of kind of taking whatever our post game notes might say, or our post game video clips that we send him, and then trying to implement, whether it's a new move, whether it's an area that he can continue to focus on. But yeah, really, really coachable for sure.
Randy?
Coach, you obviously had the game with Tulsa canceled. What negative, though, does that create for you? Because that would have been your only road test before you opened up SEC play against Auburn.
Well, Randy, I think the biggest thing, and it's been our, thought process from day one, is we're allowed a certain number maximum of non-conference games. And with our 4 freshmen, with a lot of new faces, my philosophy, our staff's, is how do we get the student athletes to play the full non-conference schedule? And there are teams right now in our own league that have not played a game. We're going into our 5th game here in 24 hours. They're Michigan, Ohio State football. That's as big as, that's a big game. And, that game is now not happening this weekend. So our thing is, how do we get our players that practice in the off season? How do we get them to compete and get an opportunity to showcase their skills, and for us to come together as a team? How do we get them to be rewarded with games? That's the number one thing for our guys. And quite frankly, that we're not in a normal world. I'm not concerned about playing a road game in non-conference. I'm concerned about trying to, again, get our guys competition, get our guys to be able to compete. And so this is how the schedule works out thus far. And who knows? I have no idea what's going to happen after, the game Wednesday on schedule, other than we all know schedules are now in pencil and not pen. And so you just take it day by day, which is no different than my daughter going to school, taking it day by day, or my wife going to the grocery store and taking that day by day.
Dorian. Dorian. Bob.
Eric, just how glad are you that you were able to schedule a team? And Southern, reading up on them, they've either been picked 1 or 2 in the SWAC. I know that's not the Big Ten or the SEC, but how good do you feel that you got a pretty good mid-major program in 48 hours, scheduled?
I mean, we're extremely happy. I mean, I think that it's again, along with the same themes that I've tried to, talk about over and over, is how do you schedule a team that's going to win their league or have an opportunity to win their league or has the talent to win their league. And, Southern is that type. And, their coach is competitive, tough-minded. I've competed against him before in CBI championship, and his teams are always really well prepared. And so we do feel fortunate because there were some relationships with people at Southern that helped us put this thing together.
And are you thinking this? I mean, you guys might have to do this. I mean, at least leading into conference, other games could get canceled, postponed, and this may be something you got to do for a while.
Yeah, I think you're right, Bob. I think that, you just, like I said, our big thing is let's get to Wednesday, let's play the game, let's try to play as good as we possibly can. And then let's get ready for Central Arkansas and look forward to that game on Saturday night. And that's all you can do is just, kind of take it one day at a time, one game at a time.
And what's your take on Southern? Have you had any chance to? I know they just came off a game with Iowa. What do you think?
Yeah, number one, Shiver is a really talented player. I mean, he's a good shooter. Sadler, number 5 at the point guard position, good quickness, good speed, really good in transition. 20, Lee can really shoot the ball. 13, Bradford is a good shooter as well. And then their guys up front are guys that work hard, get rebounds. But obviously the shooters are Lee 20, Bradford 13, 25 can shoot the ball, and then Shivers is kind of their main guy thus far. But knowing also that if Bradford plays, he's got the ability to really score the ball as well.
Yeah. I got a couple more, but I'll turn it back to Mike.
Curtis.
Hey, Coach, a couple quick ones for you. First, if this situation was to come up again, would Tulsa be on the short list of teams you reach out to?
I mean, probably, Curtis, I'd probably rather not, comment on, just because there's so much fluidity to how this all goes about. There's a lot of stuff on social media, schedule this team, schedule that team, this team's available. People have no clue about what's available, about what protocol with testing, about how teams would get to a certain place, about which teams really want to play. I can tell you for sure, from the moment our game ended until the game was scheduled, and Mike K would put that thing out within almost minutes of when it was finalized. There was a lot of zigzagging and we're going to play this team, then we're going to play that team, then we're going to play this team, and this team doesn't want to play. And so there's just a lot of things with a whole bunch of people that we reached out to. And I will say we were aggressive. We were not passive in our search for a game. And, we heard the social media world in the state, and we did all we could from our end in regards to the schedule.
Of course. And then do you think maybe big picture, this could be a good thing for the team to kind of find out who an opponent's going to be last minute, have a quick prep, and then go play almost as if it was a tournament type situation?
Yeah, I think you bring up a great point, Curtis, that has not really been brought up enough probably, but Yes, I do, because Sunday's usually when the coaches get together and start formulating the game plan for a game on Tuesday or Wednesday. Sunday was, we didn't have anything to meet. Our only meeting was who are we going to play. And then Monday we go down to the practice floor, and who I thought we were going to play. We had all of our game preps, and that game didn't happen. And so we went through a Monday practice, not knowing who we were going to play. And we're just fortunate again that there were some relationships with Southern where we could circle back with them and make this game happen. But yeah, I do think, today is going to be our first day doing Southern prep, which is unique and, we pride ourselves as a staff, and our players pride themselves on prep. And this will be a shorter prep other than an NCAA tournament type setting or a conference type setting where you don't really know, or if it was a holiday tournament where you win or lose and then you play the next game against an opponent that you didn't have a lot of time to prepare for. But even in those situations, you see brackets and an assistant coach can be working on. This was, unlike any bracket type situation where you knew it was going to be team A or team B. This was a little bit, more wild.
Brett.
Hey, Eric, a little bit off the beaten path. I think I saw your sister tweet a picture of your father's cutout in the stands. Are you aware of that? Do you see it? Do you ever look up, maybe coming on or off the court and see your dad? And what is that like?
Yeah, I mean, when I heard that that we were going to have cutout, the first thing I asked for was, could we do one of my dad and could we do one of Chuck Daly? And so, yeah, I think I look at it more in shoot around. Something will happen in shoot around and I'll laugh with my son. I'll whisper something where the guys, I got my mask on and they can't see me laughing or whispering. Somebody will take an absurd shot or something and I'll just say, hey, look at the cutout over there, your grandpa. I wonder what he's thinking right now about that shot. But yeah, I mean, it's unique. It's special to me. It's special to my whole family that he's, and I like where they placed him too. He's got an excellent view from that end zone, so he can see the full court. Nothing's obstructing his vision.
Dorian.
Okay. Hey, Coach. I apologize if anyone asked this. I lost internet, and so I missed a whole bunch while I was trying to get back in. You kind of mentioned, you heard the talk from the in-state. Obviously, Daryl put it out there that he was going to text you, wanted to play you guys. You kind of tweeted about it yesterday, but I was just wondering if you could give some additional insight about what you guys talked about, how that conversation went, and then if it kind of laid the groundwork for maybe a regular season game between the two of you in the future.
Well, I mean, nothing right now. We're not thinking about the future, Dorian, just because of what happens with, our own schedule this year. Coach, first of all, Coach Walker and I have I think a great relationship. There's we text each other after wins. I had known that he was, wanted his team to continue to improve defensively. When I got the job, he reached out to me and gave me some pointers on kind of, helping me with a new geographical area. So nothing but respect, nothing for love, for Coach. I think he does an incredible job. He's, won the league last year, predicted to win the league this year, which is why we thought it was going to, a good opportunity. He did text me after his game. I did text him back. Then I called. We talked. I everything that was publicized is exactly how it went down. I think Bob wrote the article. I mean, we talked, and he felt like his team needed a little bit more rest this week. But Little Rock wasn't the only one that we reached out to. We reached out to everybody that's a Division I school. And we didn't just reach out to everybody this week. We reached out to them when we did our original schedule and did everything we could. And whether it was multiple phone calls, multiple emails. So, and actually Coach Walker and Arkansas Little Rock was probably the one that we had the least, if any, conversations, about when we were doing the original schedule. But the other schools in state, we couldn't have wanted to play them anymore when we were originally putting this schedule together. Because that's what the fans, so from our end, we did as much as we possibly could. So to me, that box has been checked where we put the phone calls out and we're willing to play.
Thanks, Coach.
Bob?
Eric, I think when Gonzaga Baylor got canceled, that's sort of, I don't know, a lot of people went a little nuts. It wasn't like there's lots of games getting canceled. That one struck a nerve because it was 1-2 matchup. I think it was USA Today had an article that they were different. Like Patino was saying, this is chaos. We should push back to February and this and that. And I'm thinking, well, gosh, it may not be any better in February. I was just wondering, I know this isn't easy, getting games canceled, trying to get another game scheduled and a quick turnaround. But
well, Bob, first of all, I totally disagree with Coach Patino's take on it. I wish we would have started on time. And I feel like we missed 2 weeks. Again, that's my personal opinion. That's not anyone else's opinion. That's just only mine. And I wish we would have started on time to give us more leeway throughout this, because none of us know what tomorrow is going to bring. It was my hope that we could try to do as much as we possibly could to have a full schedule, meaning 30 games. It's not the case, but anyway, sorry to interrupt.
Well, that's okay. Well, my question was going to be, as crazy as this season's been, just like football, they've pushed through, and a lot of SEC teams, some have already completed their schedule, most are going to get to play 9 or 10 games. I mean, do you feel good that you guys are pushing through regardless of the tough circumstances?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the league office, I think the number one thing for everybody is number one, the health and safety of the general public, of the student athletes. I don't know anything about medicine or I know zero. Everybody on this Zoom call probably, is, I know what I'm told and what I read, and that's it. But we want to continue to play and we want to do it safely, and we want our players to remain healthy. And I think what we've all learned through this is you can do everything possibly to protect yourself, and somebody can still, come in, close contact or whatever. So our big thing is just like, how do we do the best that we possibly can? And how do we, these players that are practicing and devoting so much time and energy to their craft, how we give them an opportunity and a platform to go play under lights and on TV and so on and so forth.
And then you hit on this the other day with Moses, about he talked to him about finishing around the rim. The next thing you know, he's out there working on those shots. But Jalen hit on this the other day that Moses really listens. And I guess, I'm guessing a lot of high level players, young players, think they know it all. I don't know, you probably have a better sense of that than I do, but just what do you think about that aspect of Moses' personality?
I mean, the great players that I've been around are the best listeners, are the best learners, are the best, like people want great players, or people that aspire for greatness, or people that want to play at the highest level. Those guys take great pride in their craft, and those guys want to figure out every angle to make them better players. And I've certainly found that to be true with Moses. Other guys, they say they want to play at the highest level or be the best, and you can give them feedback and you can send them film, and day after day you watch them not do what you talk about. And so, different players have, different abilities to try to take, criticism or feedback is probably a much better word, to take the feedback and then to go execute and get better at it. You know, just like as a coach, you know, we want to ask other coaching friends, you know, where are the holes in our team? Can you self-scout us? Is our zone offense good enough? What do you think of our backcourt traps? It's the same thing with a player. When a player's asking, coach, how can I improve? How can I move my percentages up? And then you give them feedback. What do they do with the feedback? And Moses has gobbled it up and gone into the lab and started working on craft, which is what you want from a young player who aspires for greatness.
Hutch, final question.
Yeah, Coach. I mean, to no fault of your own, you lost games against Louisville and Oklahoma, and now Tulsa. Do you have any concern about strength of schedule, or do you think kind of the selection committee is going to have the same view as you, is that, you know, just get games in when you can?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure, Hutch, how it'll play out, because I don't know what, you know, none of us know, like, what's the conference schedule going to look like, and we know what it looks like now, but what's it look like when it's executed? And again, our whole thing, we can try to, you know, come up with what we think it might be, but I think yesterday Coach Ruda said there was over 60 teams, 6-0, that had not played a game yet in Division I. So I don't know how you're going to go about figuring out if there's not a same level of playing field, meaning the same number of games. We got a lot of new guys. We're trying to go out, get the game experience in. Hopefully we win the game. If we don't, we get the game under our belt that we can evaluate and get better. And so that's kind of the way we're approaching it is, and the bottom line, those guys, the last thing they wanted is to not play Wednesday and have to go through another day of practice with me. So they're happy they get a game in. I promise you that. I'll leave you guys on that note. Have a good day. We'll see everybody tomorrow.